Big news in the world of weight loss and diabetes medications. For those of you that haven't heard yet, the Trump administration has announced a massive pricing deal with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, the makers of Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, and the upcoming oral GLP-1 pills we've been talking about on this channel. This deal affects Medicare, Medicaid, and cash paying patients, and it creates huge ripple effects that may eventually reach commercial insurance plans too. Now, I just did a video on TrumpRx a few days ago, but today I wanted to dive a little deeper into some of the details that we all are anxiously awaiting. First, when the TrumpRx lower prices will be going into effect. Secondly, how Medicare coverage is expanding. Third, how much you're actually going to pay. And finally, whether commercial or employer insurance plans will be affected. So let's jump in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that have not heard yet, the White House has struck a landmark agreement with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk to dramatically lower prices on GLP-1 medications, the same drugs that currently run from $1,000 to $1,350 per month. This is a major reversal from earlier in the year when the administration announced Medicare would not cover obesity drugs. That decision has now been undone. Under the new deal, Medicare will cover obesity itself for the first time, not just diabetes or heart disease. So, why does this matter? Well, over 30% of Americans 65 and older are obese. Nationwide, obesity affects 40% of adults. Before this deal, sky high prices meant millions of retirees simply could not afford these drugs. So, this agreement is a major shift and potentially a major savings for 65 million Medicare beneficiaries. So let's take a look at what you'll pay under TrumpRx and the new Medicare pricing. TrumpRx is a cash pay platform and is expected in early 2026. When the new TrumpRx direct-to-consumer website launches, you'll find injectable GLP-1 medications starting at $350 a month at launch. Those will fall to about $250 a month within 2 years. Oral GLP-1 pills are going to be in at $149 to $150 a month for the starter dose, and that is once they are FDA approved. You'll be able to see these prices before the end of 2025, but the platform goes live in early 2026. Okay, so let's talk about Medicare because this is where the biggest changes happen. Medicare will pay only $245 a month for GLP-1s like Wegovy, Mounjaro, Ozempic, and Zepbound. They will cap beneficiary copays at just $50 a month, and they will cover obesity treatment for the first time for eligible patients with obesity alone, obesity and diabetes, cardiovascular disease, prediabetes, uncontrolled high blood pressure, and severe obesity. Roughly 10% of Medicare enrollees are expected to qualify. Let's take a quick look at the Medicare before versus after the deal. Ozempic was at $1,000 a month. It will be down to that $50 copay. And for Wegovy, that was at $1,350 a month. Zepbound was $1,086 a month. Mounjaro was over $1,000 a month. And orforglipron is expected to come in at $1,086 a month. Those are all going to be $50 for the beneficiary copay. This is considered one of the biggest drug price cuts ever for Medicare. And for Medicaid, the timing varies. States can opt in at any time, and when they do, they will get the same reduced prices as Medicare. And with this agreement, there are other drugs that are included. It's not just specifically for GLP-1 drugs. I'm talking about GLP-1 drugs here because that's what this channel is about. But Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk also agreed to lower costs on widely used medicines such as Emgality, which is used for migraines, which will be down to $299 a month. Trulicity, used for diabetes, will be down to $389 a month. And insulin products are going to be capped at $35 a month. The company's also committed $37 billion to U.S. manufacturing in exchange for tariff relief and expedited FDA review for new drugs. Now, let's take a look at the rollout timeline. I want to try to make it as clear as possible because it is a little bit confusing. So, in late 2025, you can see Trump's RX pricing on the website. In early 2026, TrumpRx direct-to-consumer platform will launch. Cash pay prices will drop to $350 a month. In mid-2026, Medicare covers obesity drugs for the first time. The $50 copays begin. Medicare pricing will drop to $245 a month, and the Medicaid states will begin joining. In 2026 to 2028, we're going to see the Trump RX prices fall to $250 a month for our GLP-1 medications, and commercial plans are likely going to begin noticing the pricing pressure. So let's talk about that big question. Will this affect commercial insurance plans? Here's the truth. No, the deal does not force commercial plans to lower prices. There is no mandate on employer plans or individual private insurance. But, and this is huge, this is very important, the deal is still expected to influence commercial pricing in a big way. And here's why. First, the market pressure becomes inevitable. If millions of people can get GLP-1 drugs for $250 to $350 cash or $50 with Medicare, commercial insurers cannot realistically continue paying over $1,000 per month without blowback. Employers will ask, why are we paying 4 times more than Medicare? Insurers will use government pricing as leverage to demand better deals. Secondly, Eli Lilly has already signaled commercial discounts are coming. Lilly announced it will offer Mounjaro to commercial plans in 2027 at the same discounted prices given to Medicare and Medicaid. That's a major indicator that a broader price cut is coming. Third, Medicare coverage expansion sets a benchmark. Once Medicare covers obesity drugs for chronic disease, private insurers are under pressure to follow, especially large employer plans that mirror Medicare benefit standards. And finally, consumer pressure will grow. As seniors begin paying $50 a month, working adults will start asking, why am I paying $1,300 a month? This will push employers and insurers towards expanded coverage or renegotiated prices. So here's the bottom line. The simplest way to understand all of this is that cash pay patients get price cuts first, starting early 2026 with TrumpRx. Medicare enrollees will get the biggest savings starting in mid-2026 with $50 copays and $245 drug prices. Medicaid will get the same pricing as Medicare, but the timing depends on each individual state. And finally, commercial insurance isn't included, but manufacturers and insurers are almost certain to negotiate lower prices over the next few years. The TrumpRx deal doesn't instantly fix the entire system, but it represents the biggest downward pressure on GLP-1 pricing the US has ever seen. I hope you found today's video to be helpful. If you have, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can continue following along with me in this GLP-1 journey. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video.